And hello and good evening and welcome to Tuesday night's Pageant Land here, Queen's Table, and it's another Tuesday, another incredible special guest. And tonight we have your international Ms. Wales, Kirsty Logan. Hello, Kirsty.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited, honestly. I've been wanting to be on Queen's Table for literally the longest time, so I am so delighted to be here.
Oh, it's amazing to have you, and you're an absolute superstar. I've been, stalking your socials a bit and just checking out what you've been up to and the lead up to the pageant, and it's been brilliant. It's been brilliant. So, first of all, if you'd like to tell everybody a little bit about your pageant history.
Sure. So I am 35. Originally, I'm from Coventry, and that is where my pageant sort of journey began. I won Miss Coventry in 2010 and actually went to Miss England when Katrina Simpson was Miss England. She was the reigning Miss England at the time. Holly Pirrie and I were in the same cohort. She was Miss Cheshire, did really well at Miss England, was in the top 15. And then my journey carried on from there. I did quite a few other ones. There were some other pageants back then that don't exist anymore. There was one called International Miss GB, which is quite similar to this pageant. And again, it was a states pageant that sort of had a live heat here, did really well in that. And then I did Miss Great Britain quite a few times. And they used to run a Coventry heat. So I ended up winning the Miss Coventry title, I think about 4 times in the end. And then in about 2017, I decided I didn't want to do it anymore. And that was it. And I carried on with my sort of, university. And at that time, I'd started working and I was, deep into my career. And then I came back again into 2021, dipped my feet back into it. I was a Ms at that point. And I'd moved to Swansea at this point as well. So I was coming back in. It was totally different 4 years later. And there was new people. Everything had changed. Did really well at Ms. Great Britain. I came 3rd to the fantastic Cat Henry, which was amazing. And then I decided that was it again. I'd had a great time. I wasn't going to do it ever again. And I've been working again, like my socks off, with my career. And then last year I saw Jasmine Foley, who's in quite a similar career to me, and we're quite similar. So I saw her, she'd won International Ms, and I was like, oh, this looks like a really interesting pageant. What's this about? And I saw that it was very communications based and that it wasn't really a beauty pageant. 80% of it is already judged offline. So I was like, you know what, I'm going to do it. And it took me a few weeks to convince myself, I'm going to come out of retirement. I looked at my wardrobe, are they still going to fit? They still fit. And I went along to the pageant and I had the most incredible time with the most amazing girls. I came 3rd again. So I think 3rd is my lucky charm. And then obviously now I live in Wales. I've lived here for 6 years. I've got a daughter here, my partner here. A couple of days later, after coming 3rd, I got a phone call from Jasmine, who runs the UK heat. And she said, look, the international director would really love you to go as Wales because you're the highest placing girl from Wales. How do you feel about that? And I was sort of a little bit overawed. I was like, oh my gosh, I really don't know what to say. I spoke to Senna, the winner, about it. We had a chat about it. And then sure enough, the international office reached out before I could even go back to her and said, look, we'd really love you to come and join us in New York because you've done a lot of work. And, obviously it'd be lovely to have a Ms. Wales there. So I didn't take very long to think about it. I decided this was going to be my one and only national title. And I'm just so proud to be representing Wales. So I'm now 16 years after I started pageants. I'm now off to New York in September. It's taken me 16 years to have a national title, but I wouldn't have it any other way.
I always think everything is the right place at the right time, and it's always, meant to be when it's meant to happen. And I have watched you on stage a few times, and you are amazing. We did see Miss Great Britain back along when the lovely Cat won, wasn't it? That lovely. Yeah. I love that. It was great, and I did roast chicken there. It was lovely. Really nice meal while you're watching the pageant, which was quite random, but I liked it. But you've got you've spark on stage, and what an incredible opportunity. I bet you were absolutely delighted.
I wasn't expecting it because I was I'm the type of person that I call this my side sparkle, and I do it for fun. And if I don't win, I just don't care. I'm happy for girls. I'm a big believer in really supporting women. And if I don't win, I don't win. So the night that I didn't win, I was in Senna's hotel room with her and the other girls, and we were laughing and joking and drinking and celebrating her win. I didn't think for 1 second that I would also be going. And it was like, it was just, I couldn't quite get over it. I was like, are you sure I'm good enough? do you really want me there? I could not get over it. But I thought about it and I thought, look, I'm not getting any younger. I've got loads of things coming up in my career that I need to focus on. So this year, this is going to be my last year to do it. And I'm going to go and really enjoy myself. And I'm going to take that kind of notion of having a side sparkle and just take it to the extreme. And I'm just going to indulge in it totally. And that's what I've done so far.
I love that, the side sparkle. That's brilliant. It's great. I know you're so worthy of it as well. And how lovely to represent Wales. Obviously, I'm a big fan of Wales. My daughter was born in Wales and my husband is Welsh. So so I always support Wales. It's always good. And it's Swansea as well.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, it's brilliant. I mean, it's a wonderful opportunity and you are such a hardworking queen. And it's going to be amazing watching your journey to international. So that is the finals in New York City in September of this year. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's in September. I don't quite know what to expect. It is quite different from other pageants. There's like a debating round, a mooting round. The interview you have to do, the interview is quite similar to sort of like Miss World and Miss Universe, but you have to do an empowerment plan, which is a business plan. And then you also have to do an introduction video where you talk about yourself. And then there's like a project round 2. And so these are all different elements, which actually I should find quite easy because I'm a communications professional, but actually it's really challenging me because I'm having to think about it from a different point of view and I'm not doing it for work. So it's been fantastic because I think the thing about pageants is you shouldn't do it unless you're going to get transferable skills from it. We should be doing this to enrich our personal development or career development. And from this pageant, I've actually worked out that I quite like doing things in front of camera. I quite like doing interviews, which I'm usually the one that's scheduling interviews, and we'll come on to talk about that. But it's really been quite nice for me to be able to actually have a voice and talk as myself, because as a comms director, I'm usually behind the camera telling other people what to say. So I'm relishing the experience, to be honest.
Oh, it sounds incredible. And you've got so exciting for you as well. So how's the outfit prep going? Is it going well?
Well, do you know what? I'm doing something a bit crazy. So I think everybody has seen my yellow gown. That is coming with me. I don't know whether I'm going to wear that or not. I'm not particularly secretive about my gowns because I'm really confident in who I am. And I'll tell everybody when I wear it because I just think I really do take that seriously. Like if you are confident in who you are and if you have a quiet confidence, you could wear the best outfit in the world or keep it totally secret, And with me, I'm going to take that yellow gown because it means a lot to me. I've got a 2013 bright fuchsia pink Sherry Hill, which is absolutely beautiful on me. And it is a bit different. It's chiffon. It's very tight fitting bodice and then chiffon. And I'm having that altered to have a chiffon scarf put across it. So it's an old dress, but it's been upcycled. And it's fantastic and so flamboyant. But it will just be something else once the scarf is on it. And that is my evening gown round. I've bought a secondhand red outfit for the sort of like the opening round. And then Veronica May, who you may know, she came second in the pageant. She's a really, really close friend of mine. She's actually making my white dress. She's just started her own. Basically she's like the Molly of the UK now. She's started her own company. She's going to be making loads of outfits. She makes her own already. So she is designing a sort of white jumpsuit for me. And I'm going to be honest, like I've watched so many girls go out and compete and I didn't realize the extent to the amount of prep you have to do, which obviously you're going to be doing now because you're going to Galaxy. Like you don't realize until you're there and you're thinking, oh my gosh, like this is hard work, but it's so enjoyable, isn't it?
Oh, it's wonderful. But I'm a great believer. Like you can wear gowns again, recycle stuff, like if it looks good, if it's not broke, don't fix it. That's what I always say.
Totally.
You can wear gowns twice. I wore my gown twice at Galaxy. And the first time I was in the top 5. Second, this year I happily won. Same with my daughter. She wore a gown twice at internationals, was Europe, and then won in it the following year. And I just think really recycling stuff, if it looks good, you feel great in it, why change it? You don't have to, do you? It's, as long as you're confident and happy on that stage in what you're wearing, it doesn't matter what you wear or if anyone's seen it before. So yes, you're going to be amazing. I'm so excited. So moving on to your wonderful platform now, we're going to talk about the Media Queen.
Yeah. So it started as I can't remember what I was calling it before. But it was basically my job, my day-to-day job has been, I'm a director of communications, I'm an ex-celebrity publicist. My job day to day is dealing with media at a very senior level, editorial level, and kind of strategic communications down to press office. So I've also worked in government before. I'm currently director of communication for Queen Camilla's charity, but before that I was in government, and I was working really busy press offices and running press offices and handling very contentious queries from journalists. So I bring all of that experience to my platform, and I think that there is a lack of understanding about how the media works. And a couple of years ago, Saffron Hart, who's a good friend of mine, sort of reached out to me, and she said, can you come and kind of do a bit of advisory with some of our winners and our contestants? So I did that, and it went down a storm. And what I've noticed is there's a lot of people that have a lot of campaign ideas. Not a lot of people know how to take that off a page and into the public domain, or actually how to make a campaign work. That's what my job is. I do campaigns every single day. I don't just do the media side of it. I do everything from the strategic communications to actually mapping the campaign out to then launching it and then post-campaign evaluation. So what I'm doing is using my skill set in a professional capacity and providing kind of free resources that I've made myself many, many years ago, and others that I'm just finding on the internet, and bringing these to Instagram and showing girls how you can actually use comms training to really level up your pageant game. But not only that, I mean, communications training, as you know, is really applicable in a whole other sector, in your personal life, in your professional life, in helping you with negotiations. And it can really give you a lot of confidence in kind of face-to-face interactions, in the kind of interaction we're having now, sort of, when you're doing pageant interviews with, kind of YouTubers and podcasts. It's really, really universal. And so I've been doing that. I've been helping girls out with lots of resources. I give private one-to-one tuition to a lot of girls who have lots of different stories. A lot of them have campaign ideas that they are not quite fully formed, and they just need a little bit of help in terms of, right, okay, this is a lobbying campaign, this is how we're going to do it, or this is something that actually probably you should call for legislative change, so this is how we're going to do it, we're going to launch this platform. Or some of them just have really explosive stories that they need some help with. They don't know whether to go to media, whether to speak to them, whether to not, how to deal with contentious questions. So I'm dealing a lot with girls that have really interesting stories to share. And then on top of that, I'm doing sort of a lot of, kind of workshops for girls, groups of girls. I'm doing prize packages. And I'm just doing this mainly because I think that a world that is better connected, and a world where women communicate with real confidence and gravitas, is a world where I want to step into. And the other thing to note is it didn't come from just nowhere. I love communications. It is my job, but I am the daughter of a politician. And my late father was very, very successful Labour Party politician. He was very influential in Gordon Brown's government. I grew up with prime ministers coming around my house. It was quite normal. Looking back now, even my partner kind of, when my mum mentions it, he's like, that is so weird. But that was what I was used to. And my father was an absolute don when it came to media relations. But he had some difficulties and ended up having some really poor mental health issues. And he also faced a smear campaign from press. And that ultimately sort of caused him to just decline. His mental health just went overnight. And he ended up taking his life in 2015. Now, I had a choice then to think of the media forever as being awful, smear campaignists, out to get people, or I could take the skill set that I was learning at that time, because I was just a junior publicist then, and I could help people avoid being in the situation that he was in. And at the time, I was a junior publicist. I didn't have the skills that I have now, but I knew I would eventually have them. So I've made it my mission throughout my career, both in my paid positions and obviously voluntary, to make sure that those who I work with are equipped with really, really solid communication skills, that they understand media relations and the power that comes with having a really solid grasp of media relations. And, I couldn't save my dad. I couldn't change the outcome of what happened. I wish that he had, he'd been stronger. I wish that I had been who I am now, because I could have fought that for him. But I can change the future. And I think it's really, really important to think about women. We are vulnerable anyway. We know this. And if I've got a toolkit to be able to help other women in whatever pursuits they're doing, pageantry, business, creative pursuits, the arts, whatever it is, the power to take control of their narrative and tell their story is just so powerful. So it's a blessing to be able to do this, and I love it and I live for it.
Yeah, that's absolutely incredible. Firstly, obviously, I'm really sorry to hear about the loss of your father, but the way you were so inspiring and you're just like doing things for people for the future is just incredible. I mean, what an absolute inspiration you are. It's a really, really great. And you do other things as well. I mean, you also support charities. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yes, so I've raised £116,000. That started in about 2004. I was 14. So I'm a musician away from work. I play 11 instruments, and I was signed at 14 to a record label, and we released a song for the Tsunami Appeal. And it snowballed from there. And I decided quite quick. I got dropped by my label and then was signed by another label. But I very quickly realised I didn't want to do it as a job. And I made it my mission then. If I was going to do music, it had to be for a charitable purpose. So I do still gig, and I do still do charity appearances on different records, or I'll write. I do a lot of writing, actually, but I only do it for charity. So I've been able to raise a lot of money through that musical channel over the last 20 years. And that has been really, really exciting. I've worked with everybody you can think of. I was with Arthritis Research UK, Cancer Research. But most recently, I have started working with Morgan's Army, which is a local charity here in Swansea. And they're a childhood cancer charity. And so I'm doing musical gigs and open mic nights and things like that, which is really fun. But I'm also running my first half marathon. So this is the first non-musical thing I've done. I haven't got my guitar with me. I haven't got my cello. I haven't got my piano. I'm doing something where I've had to train for, 8-9 weeks now. It has been really hard because I have rheumatoid arthritis, but I've been so determined to do it. And the thing to note is I did mention at the start that I competed up until 2017. After 2017, I actually gained about 8 stone, and I lost it again before 2021. I think it was basically PTSD in relation to my dad's death. But after losing that weight, I always wanted to do something like this. And, I've been sort of at a normal weight for a couple of years now. So I finally got signed off from my doctor. I've had a knee replacement, and they were like, you can do this, but just be careful, just be mindful of your joints. So I'm doing it. And on Saturday night, I'm going to A Sisterhood, the pageant. And then on Sunday morning, I am going to the Swansea Half Marathon, and I'm going to run it. I'm going to be there. I'm doing it in my sash. And I'm over the moon, and it's all for Morgan's Army. Morgan was a 3-year-old boy, died of childhood cancer, but his parents have just turned his legacy into the most incredible charity that offer, they sort of fund for research, they fund for medical equipment, they also provide grief support for families. They also provide sibling support too for siblings that are obviously affected by it. So I'm so excited to be working with them. And then in 2 weeks' time, I'm actually doing a superhero 5K, and the charity have asked me to run it in a ball gown.
Yay, I love it.
I know, I'm running it in a white ball gown with a superhero cape on and my sash. And I thought, do you know what? I'm here for this. I've got such a sort of a demanding job where I've got to be really serious all day. This is what we do pageants for. It's the fun, it's the extraordinary, it's the sparkle on the side. I'm going to use this title as much as I can. So really excited about that. And then, as I mentioned, I do all this media training as well. And I'm raising money for Still She Rose, which is the International Ms. Charitable Initiative. So a lot of the girls that can give a donation for my media training have done. And then that will go with me to the international. And that will be my sort of charitable pot to give to Still She Rose. And again, that's basically a platform which promotes education through empowerment. So yeah, it's all going on over here.
Yeah, it's absolutely incredible. It's like is there anything you haven't done? It's amazing. But yeah, I cannot wait to see this run in the ball gown. That sounds so much fun. I mean, I walked around a supermarket in a ball gown during lockdown, and that was fun. But running in a ball gown, I've actually walked around town in a ball gown, but this is walking. But running, is it? How are you going to run in it? You've got trainers underneath, kind of hold it as you go along.
Literally, the funny thing was, I bought a gown. It was a Sherry Hill, but it was obviously a very good copy. But obviously, it wasn't as long as a normal Sherry Hill would be. So I can't wear heels with it, and I'm only about 5'5" anyway. So I was thinking, well, What am I going to wear with it? Flip-flops. Now I know. I'm going to wear running shoes with it, and it has a purpose.
Yeah. I absolutely love it. And that charity sounds amazing as well. I mean, you've got so much going for you here. It's just absolutely wonderful. I mean, internationals is just going to be amazing for you. You've got lovely. So I've got your, just for people watching, I've got your Instagram at the bottom. And does that have links if people want to donate or just see what you're getting up to? Or is there any other?
Yes. So if you want to see my my half marathon sort of journey, I've got well, first of all, I've got loads of highlights at the top of my Instagram, and there you'll see my half marathon, and that's got all my donating, just giving stuff for Morgan's Army, and there I update like how I'm feeling after a run. And you know, my first update there was, I can't believe I've signed up for this, what am I doing, I can't even run a mile. And then the last one was, I've just run 10 miles. So you can see the journey I've been on, and you can see like how I'm reacting to it in real time. There are also free media training resources on there. So if you scroll along, you'll see interview prep, you'll see pitching, you'll see campaign tips. You'll see a lot of the time I tend to do very short 3-minute kind of reels where I sort of talk through, you know, issues like, you know, what is an exclusive, what is a true exclusive versus this, you know, what are news aggregators, should I put my story out in the public interest, you know, is it in the public interest, is it not, what are the key considerations. So if you're doing press, you're thinking about it, doing a campaign, you'll find everything you need will be on those highlights at the top of my Instagram. It's just an easy way for people to find it, because obviously it gets buried after a while, doesn't it, especially when you're like posting all the time.
Yeah, definitely. I'm going to be sat there looking through them. I've looked through some bits and it's brilliant. It really is. So you're working in the media and like actually bringing that forwards to support pageant girls really is fabulous, isn't it? So, you know, it's brilliant, like what you've done. And I still can't believe how much you've done. I mean, music, wonderful. I love all this. I didn't realize you could play so many instruments until now. So have you been doing music since you were very small?
Yes, so I have dyslexia, and I have the kind of dyslexia that affects my maths, which is weird because most people say if you can do maths, you can do music or whatever. I can't do maths. I can't read music either, but I play by ear. So I play every instrument up to about grade 5 or 6 standard. Apart from piano, I'm about grade 8 on that. But I play rhythm guitar, lead guitar, cello, violin, flute, the bass, the double bass, the cajon, which is a type of drum. There's quite a few others, a Welsh harp as well. There's quite a few other instruments that I do. But what I tend to do is if I'm writing a song on piano, I'll just go and write my own cello part to it. So it's great because I don't know what I'm playing, but my ear, and I'm sure it's because I'm dyslexic, because I just don't have science or maths or logic. Weirdly, I have logic at work, but I don't have it in my personal life. And I've just always been able to feel music very, very deeply. And I mean, I sing as well. This is the first time I'm actually talking about it, and I'm only talking about it because my pageant coach and my mum think that I should talk about it more. But I trained, I went to full-time theatre school, so my music was obviously encouraged there. And I went on the West End before I actually went to university. I was in Les Mis and in Oliver. And it was really hard because I was kind of doing my West End stuff, but I was also I still had a record deal, and I had to make a choice. And then in the end, I actually ended up going to university. My rheumatoid arthritis had a big impact, you know, in fairness. I had it even back then. I was 14 when I was diagnosed with that. So my music has always had to kind of be as a hobby, but I've got to be honest, it just enriches my life. And, you know, when you have really difficult meetings at work and, you know, if now obviously I work a lot of the time from home when I'm not in London. And if I'm having a really difficult meeting, I'll come out of the meeting and I'll sit at the piano and I'll just absolutely let rip. And 5 minutes later, I'm like, it's gone. Whatever was upsetting me, it's gone. But I don't know what it's like to not be able to play instruments. Like I can pick up any instrument and play it. But if you ask me how to calculate a mortgage or to look after finances, I couldn't do it.
You know what? I'm sitting here completely relating to you because I'm also dyslexic. I'm a singer-songwriter and I do radio and I play the keyboard, and which is so weird. And I'm just like, this is so, it's like listening to myself a bit actually. But I know exactly what you mean, and it just really, really does help, you know, and it's good. I mean, I love to, it's like, I'm not so good at maths, but I can write. When I sing a song for different producers, I can sometimes come up with lyrics for a song in 10 minutes. So, you know, it's just, you know, music is a wonderful thing. So, you know, but it's a shame you don't live close. We'll be taking you to Glastonbury with us this year.
Literally.
Yeah. Do love your music, you know. But that's the thing, and it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. And also it brings back memories and things like that, and you know, of people and places and things. And yes, it's a wonderful, wonderful thing. So what are you most looking forward to about internationals this year? Because it is coming up. It's about 3 months away. I know it's scary when I say that, but it is. September is only 3 months away.
Do you know what I'm really looking forward to? Representing a country that I moved to when I was in the depths of grief, and I love Wales, and I feel as if Wales is my spiritual home. My daughter speaks Welsh as her first language. I'm so proud of living here and of, you know, being accepted into the community. So I can't wait to represent Wales. But I'm obviously excited about the interview portion and the things that I think I'll do quite well. Like, so I won the empowerment award with Senna. We both co-won it at the national. So her and I, like, we're very strong on that front. So I think both of us are going to do really, really well in all of those rounds. But for me, I just can't wait to get back out on stage in my 2013 Sherry Hill gown that has been upcycled, and just have an absolute ball, knowing that I kept at it. I did come back. I didn't win an overall crown, but I was good enough that the international director reached out and said, do you want to come and represent the country? You know, it's not like I applied and they were like, yeah, there's no one else. But, you know, I can't believe that I've had this opportunity, and I'm going to go there. I'm going to meet girls from all over the world. I don't care if I win. I don't care if I don't place. But what I do care about is going there and being the best representative that I could possibly be, and ending my pageant journey on a high. And, you know, if I did win, I would be absolutely over the moon to be able to bring International Ms back to Wales. You know, it's in the UK at the moment. If I won, that would be incredible. And I would continue with my platform, the Media Queen. And I've got a hell of a lot of stuff. I mean, in my empowerment plan, I said I was going to do X, Y, and Z. I've done that now already. I'm now looking ahead at what I could do as International Ms. It would be a dream come true, but it would also open loads and loads of doors for me in terms of my confidence, potentially in terms of where my career might go next. Because I think for me, I don't think I'm going to be a communications director forever. I think I'm probably going to step out, maybe have a diplomatic role in the future, maybe follow my dad into politics. So this is a good training ground for me. So whatever happens there, if I was lucky enough to bring it back, I would just make sure that I would do so with dignity and grace and just be the best representative. And if I didn't, if I was first runner up, if I came nowhere, I would just take that moment and think, I have worked for this, and I'm standing as the only representative from my country on the stage. I've had an amazing time, and I'm going home with great memories. So I just can't wait.
No, I can't wait. I'm really excited. I want to come to New York now and watch it. If I had lots of money and I won the lottery, I'd fly around and support you. But you know, but hopefully we can support you from here. I know all the team will be. We'll be watching you and supporting you and cheering you on the lead up and at the final. And so, fingers crossed, there's a live where we can watch. If not, we'll obviously be looking out for lots of posts and pictures and updates. And yeah, we can't wait to see you on the stage.
Thank you. I'm really, really excited. And, you know, like I'd say, you know, International Ms is a new system, but if you are the type of girl that doesn't quite fit in other pageants, it is the pageant for you. 26 and above, you'll have an amazing time. So enter, everybody, if you can.
Fabulous, fabulous. Well, thank you so much for coming on and speaking to me today. I literally could speak to you all night. I'm sure we're going to catch up at pageants and like literally we've got so much in common. We're going to be like chatting away. It's really, really good to like meet you properly this evening. But from all of us at Pageantland, we wish you all the best, and bring that crown back to Wales.
Fingers crossed.
Thank
you so much.
for coming on. Bye-bye.
Thank you.